Morning, everyone. Welcome in. Hello, Allures XP Vault. I probably didn't say that right. Good morning. Good morning, Starla Vintage. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Good morning. How are you doing, Starla? Oh, I forgot to hit Do Not Disturb. Here we go. Do Not Disturb. Where is that? Oh, gosh. I like Android better, but needs must. Okay, sorry. I'm all right. Good morning, Big Daddy's Bargain Bin. How are you? I still haven't found those other ones, those other comics. I have too much stuff. This is my problem. Good morning, Boa Boutique and Living the Dream. How are you? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I feel bad, but I thought, the pile is pretty big. It's a pretty big damn pile. I think I just need to do like some box lots for the rest of this stuff and just have it. Isn't it a great mug? It's got that, and then it says love always wins inside. I made this tea early this morning. You'll just buy the whole pile. Hey, no, get down. You do not need to climb all over the place. You just need to settle. Not you guys. Him. I can totally sell a whole pile. Hello, everyone. It's Loki's friend. Humpty Trumpty. Okay. Oh, sorry, Lily. I just threw it and it landed right beside Lily. And so Lily's like refusing to let him have it now. And Lily's like this big. Lily's just maybe a little bit bigger. But she's just a little dog. But somehow she controls she controls things in here. Oh, Lily. Oh, no, you stay there. You're perfect right there. Never mind. He had settled down with a pickle toy. Speaking of which, I've got some pickled toys to bring to my buy it now soon. I just have to list them. Good morning, retired Darnell. Welcome in. So feel free to ask your questions and share your shows. I don't have anything in particular to tell you other than if you may have noticed that there are phishing scammers back on Whatnot in your messages, probably in your message requests, which is when you go to hang on. Minimize show, go here. So when you go to your messages, right? And then at the top of the messages, up, you can't see it, but it's where the black part is on my screen. There's a little lines. And then if you click on that, it will show you message requests and archive. So you click on message requests, and any message requests from people that you don't follow or aren't your buyers will show up here. So the scammers, and I instantly report them, and then I block them, and then I decline the message. It's 3 steps. But if you go here, anytime you go onto your messages and there's a message that says there's a problem with your invoice, or you need to click here to see the status of your order, or anything like that, and it's in this message area of your inbox or in these messages over here, in message requests, okay? Don't click on the link. If you don't know that person and you don't know what they're talking about, don't click on that link. Whatnot support will not message you in your inbox or here. If you have Whatnot support messages, they'll be right here under this part that says Whatnot support. And only Whatnot support can message you here. And it's basically just the chatbot messages, right? So never ever should you ever click on a link if you don't know what that link is for. And again, Whatnot support will not message you anywhere else. Yeah, so Hey Chickenfoot Windex, that's the best name ever. They tried, basically what they tried to do is get you to fake sign in to your Whatnot using another, that it looks like it's Whatnot that you're signing into, and then they ask you for all your details, right? But it's not Whatnot. So please, again, under no circumstances, unless you see a message from Whatnot Support. And even here, this Whatnot Support is when you contact Whatnot Support. This is kind of like this is the archive of the messages when you send something to Whatnot Support. It is not going to be Whatnot Support themselves. If there's an issue with your account, you'll get an email to your email address. And even then, double check that it's not a phishing scam. Okay. And the easiest way to do that is to send a separate message to seller support at whatnot.com or and say, I got this message saying there's a problem with my account, but I want to make sure it's actually from you guys. Can you please confirm? So just be very careful and do not click on links for weird and wonderful people. Also, if you are a person who, when someone follows you, you just automatically follow back without looking at their profile to see whether or not they're even seem legit. If you're just an automatic, you see in your notifications that somebody follows you and you go follow back without looking at their profiles. Meghert says that's me. When you do that, that gives the phishing folks, the phishing folks, a chance to try and scam you directly into your account, because it won't, when you it'll go straight to this inbox. If you follow them back, it's going to go into your regular inbox, not to message requests. So my recommendation is you don't follow back every human who follows you, because it could be a bot too. And do you really want to follow a bot? And that gives them more access to, like, at least it looks a little bit more legitimate because it looks like somebody that you know, right? And you're not going to remember every person. If you follow back everybody who follows you, you're not going to know. So just be cautious. Just be cautious is my recommendation. So that's it for me. I'm going to scroll back up and see. Megahertz says, so I found out why one person that bought from me didn't get their week-long bundling pricing. They didn't have it activated. That'll do it. That will do it. Yeah. If a buyer does not activate weekly bundling, they can't use weekly bundling. They have to turn it on. So it's a good idea to, and I didn't do it in my shows so far this week. How many shows have I done this week? 2? Tuesday, Wednesday. I didn't put it as a poll. I think I'm going to do it as a poll again, but everybody who's signed, everybody who's bought from me so far this week, except for one person, has done weekly bundling. So, yeah. Do I seem like AI? This isn't a filter. Good morning, Donna. Boop, 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 boop. I'll have to moderate. Good morning, Dave. How are you? Dave from Alberta is in the house. Hello. I got an overdue red text this morning and I was like, no, I'm for shipping. So I packaged the items this morning. Yeah, no, the best thing that you can do is when you go to your seller hub, it says needs label. And what I always do is just after a show, I go and I scroll through and see if any of them don't say, like, February 8th is the weekly bundling date. So if it doesn't say February 8th, then I know I have to ship it out right away. So I'll do that today's show that I'm going to do this afternoon. As soon as that, good morning, Picky. How are you? Good morning, Clumsy Crutch. So as soon as I see that, I will, I'll ship those ones out. And you know what? I do love that about weekly bundling is that, that I don't have to search for the perfect box until Sunday. I can start searching for the perfect box on Sunday. But I need to go out and get more boxes because I'm down to only my really big boxes. So I need some more small boxes. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in, Sydney and the Purple Girl and Dawn and everyone else who's come in. Welcome in. Feel free to ask your question and share your shows. I was just reminding folks, the only thing that I have to talk about today is to remind folks that there are scammers trying to do phishing scams on Whatnot in your inbox again. If you see a link, please don't click on it without double checking that the person is legitimate. And if they tell you they're from Whatnot Support, they're full of poop. The end. That's pretty much it. Sydney Bod says, I'm here to shout out Linda Lululu. She's been trying to go live for a few weeks and finally figured it out and is live now. Ooh, good for her. Linda Lululu. Linda Lululu. I love that. Hang on. Let me just, I'll link that. Linda Lulu. Oops, spell it right, Kim. Linda, how many Linda Lulu? Oh my gosh, there are a lot of Linda Lulus. It looks like Linda Lulu set up a bunch of profiles. She should probably edit those other ones because there's a bunch that showed up for me. But there we go. I think that's her. Boom. Okay. Linda Lulu. Heading to the post office now. Have fun. Safe drive. Go. Be safe. Thank you, Jeff. I love you. You're awesome. Be safe while you go to the post office. I'm sure I'll see you later on. So if you have questions, this is what I'm here for, is to answer your questions about Whatnot, about selling on Whatnot, whatever it is. I'm going to start doing just Friday and Saturday seller support shows and the occasional morning chat show. Good morning, Shop with Tasha. And just kind of transitioning to more selling because I have too much stuff. And I am not selling as fast as I can buy. So I have to start selling faster than I can buy so that I can start to reduce the amount that I have. Yeah, no problem, Sydney. Thanks for coming in and letting us know about her. That's awesome. If I'm still on when she's on, I will raid into her. I better write this down. Leonarda 17 says, I want to set up my first clothing show and I need help with the best way to set up shipping. The best way to set up shipping is just to do it by weight. Just select the correct weight for each item. So, we're going to be talking about that fashion selling tomorrow on Fashion Fridays. We have deals on style, and I Spy Luxury. I don't know which account we're going to be chatting with. I will check and see, but it's going to be deals on style and I Spy Luxury. Tishan and Kyle. So you'll be able to pop in and ask questions of them. They're long-time live platform sellers who have been, they're coming back to Whatnot again. And so we're very excited to have them back. And they have actually 3 brands, which I find exhausting. To have 3 brands. I can't even keep one brand going without having 3 brands, but they're fun, they're awesome, and they have a really great vibe, and they're just sweet humans, and I'm looking forward to chatting with them. And so that'll be tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. We're going to start with the chat. I'm going to chat with Kyle and Tishan, and then we're going to raid into Melody Cone, who is then going to continue the conversation with them, and she's going to be talking about sourcing and styling. I'm going to be talking about kind of the nuts and bolts of selling on Whatnot that are applicable to everybody. And then for all you fashionistas out there, Tishan and Kyle are going to be talking with Melody about sourcing and styling, which I think you are going to want to be there for, to learn how they source. You're not going to get all their secrets, obviously, but how they source and how they style things, because their style is pretty epic if you haven't seen it. Yeah. Living the Dream says, yes, I miss them. And Home Revival BC says, they are great. So yeah, so that would be my recommendation, is come tomorrow. We're going to be talking all things related to fashion selling on Whatnot. It's really fun. I like co-hosting. It's a lot of fun to be able to chat with another seller and not just be the only one talking. And thank you for sharing that, Betty Tan. Oh, Loki. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. Loki, look what I have. I have this weird McNugget thing. I'm sure with my luck, it's worth something, but here, do you want to play with the McNugget? Okay, there. Oh. Romeo, now why are you barking? No. Get a dog, they said. It'll be fun, they said. I don't know why we're barking. Oh, the neighbor came home. The neighbor is home. I know this is horrible news. How dare they come to their own house? We really need a farm in the middle of BF nowhere, don't we? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Come here. Come here and say hi. No, Romeo. Romeo, come here. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou? Come on, you haven't said hi in a while. You come up and say hi. Yes, yes, yes. You say hi. Not to me. You say hi to them. Um, Neighbors are the worst. The neighbors are the worst. Boa Boutique says, hi there, friends. I'm newer on the platform. Is it just me, or do people always expect a sale on this platform? Oh, you mean like discount? People like discounts in general. But if you are selling boutique items, stick with that. Stick with that. Keep going. Make sure you advertise yourself. As if you are a higher end seller, then make sure that you've got a really good high end profile, a beautiful high end logo. Make There's an image that you can put at the top of your, make that image gorgeous, something that really expresses the value that you're going to provide in the items, and then make sure that each one of your items is pre-listed. If your prices are higher, make sure your items are pre-listed and that there's really good clear pictures and um, a lot of detail. You want to have as much detail in the description as possible so that people know exactly what they're going to get. And then when you're showing the items, you want to show them on all angles. If you are selling clothing, you ideally having a mannequin, or if you can, be like Megahertz and do a runway show. His runway shows are epic. But there are people on Whatnot that come to Whatnot for the value, for the lower prices, but there are also lots of people who come onto Whatnot and pay the higher end prices. Ask folks like Drip Locker, who's now he's now a premier shop, which means he sells more than $30,000 a month, and has high quality listings and fast shipping and good customer service and it is possible to sell at higher prices on Whatnot. The luxury folks will tell you that it is more than possible. It's just a matter of sticking to your guns and making sure that you're actually providing that value. If you want to bring stuff that you're also putting on your Etsy shop over to here without the same amount of effort that you'd put into an Etsy listing and expecting Etsy prices, you're not going to make any sales. But it also takes time to build an audience on Whatnot. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes 3 to 6 months to establish yourself. If you're doing regular shows of 3 or more shows a week, it still takes 3 to 6 months for you to establish yourself. So this is not a get rich quick scheme. And if somebody told you it was, they were lying to you. It's not. The big sellers that tell you all about their success don't tell you about all the failures that they had, the mistakes that they made, and the amount of hours they had to work in order to get there. Um, they just show you, look at us, we just made $300,000 last year, right? Living the Dream says consistency is key to build trust with your buyers. Absolutely, consistency is like the number one thing. And then building confidence in yourself as a seller, as well as instilling confidence in your buyer that they can trust you. Building that trust factor is a huge part of it too. And then communication is key. What are my other C's? I used to do my shows used to be like consistency, communication, creativity. I used to do that. Home Revival BC asks, is it better to do shows at different times of day for those 3 to 5 shows at the same time every day? That's totally up to you. Totally up to you. You're welcome, Bo Boutique. And I'm going to be doing a attracting new buyers show um, later on this month, but you can go to my YouTube channel. And in my YouTube channel, under my playlists, I have a Whatnot sellers playlist that you can tips for Whatnot sellers. There is there is my last show that I did on attracting new buyers, which was 3 hours long. So I recommend taking it in little bites because it's a lot of information that I shoved into 3 hours on all the ways to attract new buyers. And that's not even like scratching the surface, because like I did like a 2 hour show on how to create thumbnails that are attractive. Like, yeah. So home revival, is it better to do shows at different times of the day? It's the Red Rooster CA, so the Red Rooster CA for Canada. So two if you so Home revival, what I always say is what time of day is the best day to go on is the best day for you, and then the best time for you. It You may find that different, so if you do the same type of show, you may want to do like a Saturday night special and then a Monday morning madness and then a fun Wednesday afternoon show. You can mix it up or you can be consistent and be every morning. But it's about that time slot, sort of trying to stay with that time slot for at least 4 weeks to test it out. So if you find that you yourself are enjoy shows more and have more energy for shows if you do them in the morning, and that nighttime shows sap your energy and make it hard for you to get stuff done the next day or to get your shipping done the next day, or afternoon shows are just too late for your schedule because you got to go pick up the kids, so you can't keep stay on for an extra few minutes because you can't, you've got to go get the kids, then afternoons aren't good for you. So I think it's really the most important thing to do is to figure out what works best for you, and what and your life and your schedule, and then do that consistently and try it for 4 weeks. And let me see, do I have it here? I probably don't have it. What is, no, why did I pin that? I was trying to delete that. Let me see if I can find it. Import from inventory. I have free resources that are available for Whatnot sellers. There we go. Done. Import item. And it was already in there. And in there is a really great goal planner. Well, I think it's a really great goal planner. It's a new one that I designed for 2026, which is a 4-week cycle planner. So there's two things um, that you can use in those goal planners. There's one that's like the regular type of goal planner with your months and everything, but there's a 4-week cycle that I highly recommend, that if you're wanting to try out Whatnot and experiment with different times and different styles of selling and all that, is use the 4-week cycle to set the goals, to set small goals for those 4 weeks, and then to work on them and reflect every week, and then you can make an adjustment. But you won't know for sure if something doesn't work until you've tried it for a period of time, because it does take time for your buyers to get used to you in different time slots. My recommendation is, if you're going to introduce a new time slot, if you're going to move from the mornings to the afternoons or add another time slot in, make sure you talk about it for a couple of weeks in your shows and have those shows already scheduled so that people can bookmark them. Christy MC's, so I can speak English, honest. Hang on one second. Ugh. I'm getting a drippy nose. Christy M says, we need more morning shows. Everyone is in the evening. Just a personal opinion, but I'm a morning person. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is that you may think, oh, there's more people in the evening or on the weekends, so I should do shows then. But there are so many other sellers who are also doing shows then that you will not have as big of an audience as if you go at quieter times. But if you just stay consistent, you will get those folks. So it's totally up to you. I prefer doing morning shows because of my body gives out in the afternoon, and I am useless as tits on a turtle, as my mother used to say. Home Revival BC says, working full-time limits my daytime shows to weekends. Are weekend day shows watch less? You may not. So there is actually, is it in here? Let me see. There it is. Okay, so when to go live. So if you look at this time of day, that's a specific time. The time of day peaks, whatever day it is, the time of day tends to peak around 3, 4, 6, 5, about 5 p.m. 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then it drops after 8 p.m. Pacific Time, which is it's interesting. Anyways, and then day of the week, Friday and Saturday are the highest viewers. Now this is old information. It's changed a lot because now we've got England and Australia folks watching. We've got everything. So weekend daytime shows are not, I don't want to say they are watched less. I think there's less seller noise there, so that there's more of an opportunity for you to get noticed when you're first starting out on Whatnot. Winter Spring says, hot take, I think there are more people buying in the evening after work. There are definitely more people on watching, but again, there's also more sellers on at the same time. And I think it's for sure, if your lifestyle means that evenings and weekends are all you can do, then just do that, and that's fine. You could do a Saturday show and start at noon and go till 6 p.m. Like, do a long show. Try that. See if that works, because then you're gonna catch the lunchtime people, the afternoon people, and into the evening people. October Moon, it's just right down below. Right down below if you click on that. Dave from Alberta says there's a lot of dilution in Canada lately. Yeah, we've got lots of new sellers on. And Christy M says it's hard to choose just one to watch. I miss out on so many shows trying to pick one. It is tough. It is tough. I just find I just try my best to, when I can, go on to Whatnot, and I click on somebody and I listen and do my work while I'm listening. Yeah, no problem. Home Revival BC says, you almost have me convinced to start. I have to keep coming to these chats. No problem. That's what I'm here for. So just anytime you have any questions, just come here. There's no such thing as a stupid question, because we've all had it and not everybody learns the same way. So my recommendation to everybody is to go to help.whatnot.com and Seller Academy at whatnot.com. And you can find those links up in my show notes, which are over here. Just scroll down past there's a line of fire, and that's where all the links are. That a lot of the questions that folks have can be found, the answers can be found at help.whatnot.com. And I really recommend to watch the videos on Seller Academy, because they will really help you to kind of get an idea of how Whatnot works. But the only real way to learn how to Whatnot is to Whatnot. You have to do it. You have to just do it. And what number one thing is, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to F up. Something's going to go wrong. Anytime you try something new, something's going to go wrong. It's not going to be perfect. And you will find that this community is so supportive and so forgiving that they will come into your show and help coach you along during your first show. If you're having trouble, they will say, like, click here, tap on this, do this, here's how you do that. Like, they will help you. They will come in and help you. So come to these shows, chat with other people, get to know other people. When you're ready to do your first show, shout it out in the chat so that we all know who to follow and who to bookmark. And people will come in to support you. It's a different beast. Whatnot is about community first. And the sooner you come to accept that, the faster you're going to love Whatnot. Soulless Creation says, that's what happened to me on my first show. Yeah, I love it. Frenny Min says, is there a big difference between going live for 2 hours versus 4 hours? I would like to stay on longer, but I just don't have the capacity with small kids. So yes, longer shows, statistically, longer shows do sell more, and at higher amounts. So the algorithm will push out shows that have been running for more than an hour, because they know that those shows tend to be more successful. But if you only have like 2 hours, like yesterday, I had to stop because I started to feel really, really, really bad. Like, I was not feeling well at all. I was not feeling well at all. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? Normally I would go for like 3 hours, but no, it wasn't happening yesterday. So I stopped. Life, family, friends, community, Whatnot, right? If you have a job, that goes before Whatnot. So if you can do 2 hours and that's good, then that's all you can do, right? Just do as much as you can, and go as long as you can, but don't push yourself past your comfort level. because the last thing that I need is for you to feel exhausted and not enjoy the experience of Whatnot. Because also, if you aren't enjoying it, the people in the room aren't going to enjoy it either. Sydney Bod says, having a show this afternoon again, going to be de-stashing, but also making custom charmed items. Ooh, that sounds like fun. And Soulless Creation says, I love Whatnot, but I'm still learning. Peggy, she asks, is it better to stick to one type of show like crafting or clothing, or does it work to have 3 types of shows as long as they are each consistent? Yes, you can do as many shows as different types of shows as you like. Consistency is the key for sure, Peggy. But if every once in a while you want to do like you want to do mostly clothing and then once a month you're going to do a big crafting show, then you can do it that way too. You can do a pop-up, a crafting pop-up. It's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. And the cool thing about Whatnot is the flexibility. So you can go on for as long as you want. You can go at whatever time of day you want, and you can, and yeah, like Magnus by Marika did 1 hour this morning and doing another after 1 p.m. today, which is perfect. So it just you do Whatnot how you want to do Whatnot. There is no one single way to Whatnot. And so if you find that it's 3 different types of shows works for you, then do 3 different types of shows. With weekly bundling now, to Frinny, with weekly bundling being available now, that push to do longer shows for Canadian sellers isn't as, if you're going to do more than 1 show a week, that push to do like super long shows, so that, which is what I always felt like I needed to do really long shows in order to provide maximum value for shipping to my customers, so they had lots to select from. That's gone for me. I don't have to worry about that anymore because of weekly bundling. Loki, where's your toy? I've got Humpty Trumpty. Go play with Humpty Trumpty. Okay. So I hope that answers your question, Peggy. Oh, my nose is drippy. Ugh. Good thing I've got a whole bunch of vintage hankies around. Sorry, everybody. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? Cat in the Hat Fish. Hello. Or Hat in the Catfish. Sorry. Okay. So everybody share where you're from and what you sell so we can all follow each other. Oh, my shirt is riding down on me. Soulless Creation says, I'm a little confused about the weekly bundling. Okay, so ask me what it is that is confusing for you. Let me know. And it's okay. It is a little bit confusing for folks. So, and I did do a show. So how does it work? Okay. So, I did a show on last Saturday. It's on my YouTube as well, where I talked for over an hour about weekly bundling and talked about all the ways that you as sellers can use weekly bundling. Trista Brew is from Ontario, just a buyer here, hoping to sell soon. Awesome. And VT Farm Girl says, can you please explain how weekly bundling works? I'm hesitating going live because I don't have control over shipping, from Vermont. Okay, well, so Vermont Farm Girl, weekly bundling isn't available to the US, so you're good. So you don't need to worry about it. But what do you mean you don't have control over shipping? So from a US perspective, you have control over shipping, in that if you put the correct weights, you'll be able to ship out really easily using US shipping. My recommendation is that you follow the Hodgepodge Place and D Archivist. They have really great shipping. The Hodge, I can spell it. No, I can't spell it. It keeps wanting to go to G. The Hodge. There's the Hodgepodge Place, and at D _archivist shipping info for US sellers and YouTube. So they both have YouTube channels with the same name, and they also do shipping information shows. So Touched by Autism, thank you so much for the raid. Everyone, please follow Touched by Autism. I'm going to mod you so you can announce when your next show is. allowed to moderate. There we go. Mimics also with the raid. Thank you, Mimics, for the raid. Feel free to share your next shows and make an announcement. Thank you so much. You both are awesome. Everyone, please follow Touched by Autism and Mimics 55. You wanted to do a different carrier and do weekly shipping, so that is not possible, yeah, with Whatnot US right now, and using a different carrier, no. But the shipping is fairly simple. So good morning, how are you? um two 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 two. So I'll talk about weekly bundling in a second. Magnets by Marika is in Tottenham, Ontario, custom stickers and magnets. Vermont, USA, VT Farm Girl is from Vermont. Brittany Min says, one of my buyers didn't know about it until after my show, and she was hoping to bundle for my Sunday show. I tried to ask Whatnot. Yeah, you can't change it. Unfortunately, you can't change it, but you can just say, next week. You'll be able to turn it on next week. So that's a really important thing, is to have some notification. If you look in my show notes, you'll see that at the very top, I have weekly bundling is now available to every seller. And in my selling shows, I have, what I do is a poll where I say, I'll just type it right now. Weekly bundling now available for Canadian buyers. Sorry, I love saving money. Now, also, usually I have in here, I also put like weekly bundling now available, and I'll say go to your wallet, go to wallet, and then turn on weekly bundling. And that and that seems to help, is that people then realize, as soon as they come to your show, they see weekly bundling now available in my show. And then again, what it should say is go to wallet, toggle on weekly bundling to save on shipping. And so that would be my recommendation. And it's really quick for you to do before your show starts. You can create the poll and then just leave it up. Leave it up there, so everybody who comes into your show is going to see that poll and read that notification. It's a cheater's, I know it's a cheater's way to use the system, but you know. Mellow State is also a great resource for US sellers. She talks a lot about shipping, especially on her Facebook page. Okay, interesting. I have not heard of them before. Touched by Autism, I'm having another show tonight at 9:15, clothing show, random pulls. Hope to see everyone there. Make sure you follow me. Souls Creations in Calgary, Alberta. Beth Oda, that's Loki. Hey, stop. Where's Trump? Hey, get down. Look, a book. It's a book. Do you want it? No. I'm in North Vancouver, just getting started here, selling mostly fashion and accessories. Yay, Elizabeth, I'm so glad you are. How do you make the show notes? So if you just when you go to set up your show, you just go to show notes and you type it in on your phone, your laptop. You just type it in and then hit post. Make Mine Beautiful is doing random pulls, vintage jewelry and art tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. See you then. Have a great day, Dave. Look both ways before you cross the street. Just say no to drugs. Love you. Shop with Danny is having a show today at 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Women and men's activewear, low starts, Lululemon, Nike, and more. You don't want to miss this. Woo! And Beau Boutique is going on my third show. I'm a 26-year-old fashion boutique in Toronto. My only buyer so far is Trista. That's okay. You're trying. Just keep it going. Wolfpack Canada, Mount Bridges, Ontario, gold-filled moissanite, AAA cubic zirconia. Thank you for typing that out for me this time. And high-end skincare. Soma Beauty, hello, how are you? Okay, so let's talk about weekly bundling, because that question was here and I haven't gotten to it yet. Good morning, Deals on Style. Tomorrow, Deals on Style and I Spy Luxury are going to be with me for Fashion Friday. I'm so excited. We're not going to be able to talk about everything we want to talk about in the 45 minutes I have with you, but we'll have fun anyways. I'm really excited. Okay, so weekly bundling. Weekly bundling is a new feature available to Whatnot sellers on in Whatnot Canada. And Australia, Germany, and Australia have had it for months, and the UK is currently testing it out too. But it's launched in Canada. Eventually, I'm sure it'll come to the US, but we're the guinea pigs. We're working out all the kinks so that when it hits the US market, everything's figured out. So we're helping you guys in the US. So don't be too jealous because we get to work out all the kinks for you. But the great thing about weekly bundling is it's an option. Um, it is a total option to you can either turn it on as a seller and offer weekly bundling to your buyers, or you don't have to. As a buyer, you too have the option to opt out of it. Well, you have to actually opt in. So if you go into a show and the seller is doing weekly bundling, but you don't want to wait until the end of the week for your items to ship out, then you don't have to turn on weekly bundling. It's totally up to both the buyer and the seller. For sellers, if you turn on weekly bundling, it does not mean that all of your orders are going to ship weekly. It means that just the orders for the buyers that select weekly bundling are going to ship. I can tell you that going into the third week of me using weekly bundling, that over 90% of my orders have been weekly bundles. Every, you know, yeah, it's actually less than 90%. No, more than 90% have been weekly bundles. So more like 95%. So that means that, hey, Patty, hello, Pickles. That if you have a lot of stuff that you want to sell and you do shows throughout the week, your seller, you as a seller are going to sell more because people are uh, going to see that savings on their shipping. As a buyer, your buyer saves money on shipping because with way Whatnot works is when you make a purchase that creates your very first purchase creates the box that pays for the box, and then anything else you add to the box um, is going to increase the shipping costs only a little bit based on the weight of the item. If you add 2 pounds into the box, that might be 50 cents or $1.50, depending on the box you already have. But it's all incremental weight being added in as opposed to that first amount that is often very expensive. So you're going to find that you're going to have more sales from this because people are saving money on from one show to the next. They're saving money on their weekly bundles. And people love saving money. It that and I love it because I don't have to do um if I if I do 3 shows, I don't end up with 3 different boxes for one person. I've always felt like I did 3 shows in a row, 3 days in a row, but I had to ship out 3 boxes instead of bundling all together. It saves you time as well. It saves me a lot of time. One of the things that I do in order to make it more efficient so I don't have a ton of stuff that I suddenly have to ship at the very end. Every 5 pounds means a new shipping fee. No, 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 no. You're thinking you're listening to U.S. shows. Don't listen to U.S. shows. No, no. It's over. If it's over 70 pounds, it should create a new box. But otherwise, no, no, no. That's a totally different thing. That's a flat rate shipping in the U.S. PB&J says I wasn't anticipating the 3 hours it took me to package. So one of the things that I do is at the end of every show, I immediately go to my seller hub and I look at what needs a label and I scroll down to see which ones need to be shipped out right away. And those ones, so for this week, all weekly bundles close on February 8th. So if it says February 8th underneath the person's name, then I know that's a weekly bundle. If it doesn't say February 8th and it says tomorrow, then I know that's the one that I have to ship out today. Like I have to get it ready today. So I do those, I get those shipped out, packaged up, ready to go to the post office, and then I go through all the other items that I've sold that day and I wrap them and get them shipped box ready. So they are wrapped, papered, bubble wrapped, labeled with the person's name. And then I put that all in a box for that show. And then I basically just have a box for each show, or boxes, depending on how much I sell in a show. But I have them just set aside by show, and it doesn't take up that much space. I use banker's boxes, so everything stacks really nicely. They're really sturdy and they protect stuff. And I also use old milk crates. Um, so everything stacks really easy and I can grab it really quickly. So if I do 70 pounds weight item, a buyer can tell me their shipping costs they see live. You could. I don't know why you would. That's not really going to tell them their maximum shipping. It's not worth trying to figure that out, because it's just too dependent on a lot of factors. Vermont Farm Girl says, I love saving money too. I went back to Facebook live seller shows until Whatnot can offer better shipping in the US. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I think that the US shipping is pretty good, and I would recommend that you do a couple of shows and build your Whatnot audience so that when they do weekly bundling, you're ahead of the game. Because Whatnot's just on the ground floor. It's barely started around the world. And if you're not already part of the selling community on Whatnot, when they completely explode and get bigger, I think you're going to miss out on followers and sales in the future. I think that's the important reason why to jump on now and get in on Whatnot, but totally up to you. Soulless Creation says, how do you know the cost at the end of the week? Well, the cost at the end of the week is not, you don't need to worry about that. Every time a buyer buys something from you, they pay for the shipping for that item. And they just keep adding. The Whatnot will charge them a little bit for each item. Sometimes they won't charge them anything. If it's a lightweight item, it'll charge them a little bit and keep incrementally adding it. You don't need to worry about that. Whatnot spits out the label. When you generate a label, it's already been paid for by the buyer. Good morning, Sleek Styles. Touched by Autism says, I need to ask a very big question when I go into my messages and I see a red dot because they are messages that I cannot see. If you click on that red dot, that takes you to message requests. And we talked about this at the top of the show. Yes, there are phishing scammers that are trying to scam right now. And don't click on those links. Just report and decline it. Report, block, and decline is what I do. Yeah, so you want to report, block, and decline. They're fraudulent and asking to change my credit card information. There are some people that are doing that, but you're doing the right thing. Report, block, and then decline the message so it clears it. Angie's This and That has got shows coming up. And thank you. I've just modded you. Thank you so much. So if you do have a question, let me know. Selma Beauty says, I just read your show notes about the lower fees on the 7th and 8th. I might then do my show finally. Yeah, I don't normally do selling shows on the weekend, but I'm going to, because, money's money. So I think that it's going to be very busy. I'm good, Sleek Styles. How are you? It's going to be very busy on Whatnot this weekend. Also, Mr. Beast, is that his name? Mr. Beast is going to be on at 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, doing like a huge $1 million giveaway show. Hopefully it's going to be one of the things that he's going to give away somehow is a Lamborghini. So hopefully he's got international shipping turned on, because Whatnot Canada did share this did share that there was this huge giveaway and shared it as a Whatnot Canada thing. So hopefully that means that there's international shipping turned on so that we can all enter those giveaways. I will certainly be going on to see. I don't really want any of the stuff necessarily. Nothing floats my boat. The other thing is, dear Whatnot, is there an age limit to join Whatnot? There are rules around the age that you can join Whatnot. If you're under 16, I think you need you need to use a parent's account. You can find more information at help.whatnot.com. I haven't looked in a while to see that answer for minors. I read that his audience are minors, so they may not be great buyers. Yeah. So the interesting thing is I didn't know anything about Mr. Beast at all. Because that's just not my thing. But I have friends who are in their 30s who and 20s, and they know about Mr. Beast. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I watch it all the time." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like it's that's just eating Tide Pod. Like I know he didn't do the Tide Pods eating thing, but like that generation, I think we all forget that generation is now in their 20s and 30s. Like I remember telling my daughter, "Do not eat Tide Pods. It's become a thing on the internet. Please don't eat Tide Pods." Like, yeah, I'm so old that Tide Pods is an old. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So those kids who grew have grown up with him, and they are now adults with money. Homer Bible says, "I'm almost 50, and we watch his Amazon Prime show now because my 13-year-old is into him." I saw that he was on Amazon Prime and I just hit dismiss because it just wasn't of interest to me. But he's a big, big person. Um, so hang on, let me just see. Children. Children. Let's see if it comes up if I put in children. Prohibited, restricted, whatnot, community guidelines. No. Minimum age, maybe. Minimum age. Let's see if it comes up that way. Teens on Whatnot. There it is. Teens on Whatnot. Okay, so you must be 18 years old or older to have an account on Whatnot. However, teens between the ages of 13 and 17 are allowed to buy and sell under the following requirements. One, parental account ownership and information. Accounts of 13 to like no younger than 13, by the way, 13 to 17. Accounts must be owned and registered by a parent or legal guardian aged 18 years or older. Bank details, payment processing details, and other financial information must be in the parent or legal guardian's name. To provide this information, please contact Whatnot Support. Parental permission and supervision. The parent or legal guardian must provide permission and supervision for teen use of their account. Account owners are responsible for all activity conducted on their accounts. And teens 13 to 17 who have approval to use their parent or legal guardian's Whatnot account and want to collaborate with other sellers or be featured in other shows must have parental permission to participate in another seller's show. So, there you go. So that if you're between 13 and 17, there must be a legal guardian supervising you if you're going to sell. And let me just double check here. Cards, Funko, application rejection reasons, creating rewards. Yeah. So their minimum age is 13 to 17. You must be supervised and have permission from a legal guardian, and the account must be in a legal guardian's name. Pitchpack says he does a lot of games and challenges adults participate in for prizes. Oh, Vermont Farm Girl says there's an age limit. I reported a 10-year-old trying to sell a bar of soap with his little brother to buy themselves a Labubu. That is so cute, though, isn't it? It's wrong. It's wrong. There's also rules about child exploitation, but that's so cute. Will someone please buy this bar of soap? I guess so I can buy a Labubu. It's actually really cute. But yeah, if they cannot, if they're under 13, they cannot be on the camera. Okay, so the way I remember the rules now, this is a shortened version of the old. It might be in the community guidelines. I'm not going to dig into it today. You can go to community guidelines and read it all. But if they are under 13, they can be on camera but they can't be selling. So if you're so if you're so yeah, your daughter wants to help you, then your daughter can hand you the items, but she can't be the one selling the item, right? Like she can't be the one holding up the shirt and saying, "Look how great this is," and being like mommy. That that goes too far into what is considered to be child exploitation. There are laws in the United States that are supposed to be upheld in the United States about child exploitation. So yeah, I get more sales at my markets when she sells. I used to be brought to the markets to be the one to sell. I totally understand that. I was exploited as a child for my cuteness until my cuteness left me, and then I was a gangly teen. But yeah, it's so on Whatnot. Your kids can be in, but they cannot be the focus of the show. Um, if they are Ethan and Layla are waiting to be 13. Yeah, and then as soon as they turn 13, they can be doing their own shows as long as you are there. And it has to be forking obvious that the parent is there. Like you're talking in the background or you are literally beside them helping them. It cannot be that you're in another room making dinner while they're selling. It be until they turn 18. It has to be very clear that you are in the room. um, just like your daughter just got fired. I mean, if she wants to hand it to you and then say things, like I think this is really pretty. If she made something like for Bead Kind DIY, if she made something, then she can show it off. But the important thing is that you are definitely the seller, not the child. The child is just there, and there's no problem with the child enjoying themselves and getting to learn about it. Is that the Hodgepodge place was talking about it yesterday, that like your kids become nepo babies, Whatnot nepo babies, that build up your audience so that then you can pass it on to your children. So her kids are older, and so they'd be Whatnot nepo babies if they started on Whatnot. Okay, so let me just check if I missed any questions. I'm sorry. um I think we're good. Okay, yeah. So if you haven't scheduled a show for this weekend and you have the time to do so, schedule a show for this weekend, because there is so much happening and so much going on, and it is going to be amazing, and it's only 4% commission. So it's worth doing, even if you just did go on for an hour. um I I'm just going to go on until I feel like I'm too tired to continue, and then I will move on to something else because I've got a lot to do. I have so much to do. Speaking of which, um, I need to find a video to teach me how to do the show. So I would start with Seller Academy at whatnot.com. And then I have YouTube videos you can watch. The Archivist, the Hodgepodge Place. There's a whole bunch of folks who have really great videos that you can watch. But I would start with Seller Academy at whatnot.com. It is the first stop to watch some videos so that you can learn, and then try the rehearsal mode, which you can also learn about there. Let's see, let me just type it out. Seller Academy. No, not that one. Seller Academy, whatnot.com. There we go. My YouTube username is the Red Rooster CA. I'm the Red Rooster CA on YouTube, Facebook. I don't remember if on Twitch, and Instagram. So you can find me on all those. This is also streaming. Today's show is now streaming right now on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So you can find me in all those places. Andy says, I was going to do a show Saturday, but I am moving items to shop. I got a U-Haul truck, finally got internet out there. Yay! That's exciting. Angie's opening up a store, so she's going to be doing shows from her brick and mortar, which is really exciting. Starla Vintage asks, is it 4% commission for anything? I know there was a point where it was 0% commission for women's clothing, but I don't know if that ended yet. I don't know if that promotion has ended yet. I will ask tomorrow during my Fashion Fridays, unless someone who's a fashion seller can tell us right now if the women's fashion 0% commission for Canadian sellers selling women's fashion, if that is still on. If it is, then you will pay 0%. You won't pay 4%. Trista says, do you have tips on how to get followers for new sellers? Boa Boutique is new and has amazing items, just not the traction to her shows yet. So yes, so I have a huge amount of tips, and I'll number one is to be part of the community and to be as consistent as you possibly can. You can use my free resources. I have a goal planner that's in my free resources that you can use. What day is your February train, Angie? What day of the which Sunday is that? Hey D, and you should follow D Archivist for any suggestions. D Archivist, everyone please follow my friend D. Hi D, I love you. Allowed to moderate so you can make an announcement of when your next show is. Everyone follow the wonderful D Archivist. She says, any suggestions on quitting this app? I don't know. D, what are you up to? Today is what, 603 or 604? 603. D has done, today will be 603 days straight that she's done Whatnot shows. You want to talk about being consistent? That she is the OG of consistency. No, isn't that amazing? And she does really great seller chats. And for US folks in the room who are wondering about shipping, there's someone here who's wanting to do weekly bundling, but is a US seller who's feels like there's not enough. There she is, VT Farm Girl. VT Farm Girl, you need to follow Dee. She's got great information. She can help dispel some of your concerns about shipping. I think you'll find that shipping is fast and easy, and folks like Dee and the Hodgepodge Place have great information on that. And I have a feeling that it won't be long before they bring weekly bundling to the US, as long as we in Canada continue to experiment well with it. It is done really well in Australia. So for attracting new buyers, my recommendation is I have a 3-part, because it's 3 hours long, a 3-part video set of videos on my YouTube about that. So you can go to my YouTube channel, and D Archivist also has some really great videos on attracting buyers as well. D Archivist says shipping is like cake. You don't want it. Once you have it, you'll find it delicious. This is true. Is there data on Whatnot stating is it better to go on camera or just show the stuff in your hands? Would I get more sales if I showed up? So I actually did a show about this, about the psychology of buying. And yes, faces, hands, anything that's human, that's in, even if it's just your hands, that are showing it, any sort of human connection increases sales. Hello, Ina. Good morning. So what I highly recommend is that, yeah, if you can go face first. I look so fat on the camera. Girl, look at me. I mean, I used to be a size 0. So I used to be a size 0. So when I first came on Whatnot, I was so self-conscious because I had been away from I'd been away from the world. I stopped sort of interacting with human beings in 2020, and it was like 3 years. Oh, you're very sweet, blue eyes. Yes, there. Oprah. I'm like Oprah without the billions. What is she? She must be a billionaire now. So you know what? You may think it, but I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it. Just be yourself, and people will come and love you for just being yourself, and it does nothing to do with how you look. Angie says, I still self-conscious, but I still go for it. But if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to. Just do what feels the most comfortable to you. And when you're comfortable, even if that's off camera and that's the most comfortable for you, a lot of people start by being off camera. Even the Hodgepodge Place was off camera at first. Now she's never She's never away from the camera now, but when she first started, she wasn't even on camera. So do what feels most comfortable for you. That's the only way to really do Whatnot. Shop with Danny says, don't even get me started in the weight thing. I have to wear a mustache on my show today if I haven't lost it. Oh my goodness. I think you would look great in a mustache. How can I Touch by Autism says, how can I insure items that I'd like to ship out? So Whatnot does have some insurance automatically for the value of your items. Hang on, I might have to get a fisherman's friend in a second. I am. We're going to go for a walk. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Fisherman's friend time. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I don't want to cough in your face. I just dropped my fisherman's friend on the floor. Oh god. Okay. How much talking is too much or too little? Hey, Peggy. Clearly, I was talking too much. Draco Seuss, what's up? Sorry. Hang on. Loki's trying to lick all of them. Don't lick my fisherman's friend. I'm gonna let before I drink, I'm gonna let the fisherman's friend do its thing. Oh my gosh. So I definitely talked too much there. Okay. Thank you, D. Just push down on the phone to do CPR. Okay. I'm good. It will go away. Not like I got a fisherman's friend. Sorry. There's gonna be a fisherman's friend in my mouth, and you're just gonna have to all live with it. So there is a button you can press for an emergency, and Whatnot will contact the authorities to try and resuscitate me. D Archivist says I started off camera, and it was about 3 to 4 months later when I showed my face for 2 seconds. Yeah. So it takes time. Some people like to be on camera right away. Other people say I'm never going to go on camera, and then a few months later they do it once and they realize it wasn't so bad. I highly recommend if you're very self-critical, just don't watch your past shows because you're just going to be overly critical of yourself. I just watch what I need to in my shows for my video receipts, and I don't tend to watch after that. So Touched by Autism asked about insuring items. Whatnot does have some insurance coverage for items. If you have high value items in the luxury category, then I would contact Whatnot support just to ask how that works. But because the value is known, it should be part of it. You can't go to Canada Post and ask for increase to add more insurance onto the package, but Whatnot is basically taking on that. Okay. How much? Peggy asked, how much talking is too much or too little? It's really what you're comfortable with. There's no like perfect amount. If you feel like you're talking too much, then maybe you are, but maybe just being yourself. If being yourself is that you talk a lot, then just be yourself. And if being yourself is you don't talk very much, then do that. You are not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You are going to have to find the people that enjoy you, and you're going to have to figure out what you really like doing on Whatnot, and you're going to change. You're going to change over time. So what you started doing on Whatnot is what you probably won't be doing a year from now, because you're going to adjust and change as you get more comfortable with the app, as you try new features, as new features come out. So if you like to talk, if you enjoy talking, then talk to your heart's content. But if you don't like talking a lot, you don't have to do shows where you talk a lot. Our shows where there's a lot of interaction, like if you're just talking to the screen without interacting with the people in the chat, people are going to leave. So my recommendation is to chat. Think of it as a chat. You're having a conversation. People are coming into your room. This is your room, and they're chatting with you, and you're saying hi, and you're introducing yourself, and they say something, and you talk back. To make it a back and forth as much as you can. I've tried to not talk while I run items, and I can't last more than 15 seconds. Not even 10 seconds. It's so uncomfortable for me to just be like in silence. It drives me nuts. So I can't do it. So I'm sure some people say I talk too much. And you know what? Then I'm not their cup of tea. Take what you like and leave the rest, as far as I'm concerned. Selma Beauty says, I think I will talk too much, but I think it is part of the social experience here. Yeah, absolutely. Ina asks, how do you choose the timing of your shows? How do you navigate a good schedule for you and your customers when you start it? It is going to take you time to figure out the schedule that you like. And I've adjusted my schedule so much that I am not the person to ask how to do it best. I just kind of started with over a year ago, I started doing daily shows, chat shows, because of the postal strike. That was like October of 23. Yeah. October of 23, I started doing, was it really October of 23? Oh my God. No, 24. October of 24. October of 24, I started doing daily chat shows because of the strike. And that lasted for almost a year, from 24 all through 25. So now we're in 26. So I'm changing my schedule too. PB&J says, I'm regularly a hot mess at the end of the day. I'm too tired to. Yeah, $100 insurance is automatic on labels, but Trista says, I had a package not arrive and whatnot refunded me with no issues. Exactly. Hello, Sandra, Big Sky Country. How are you? Leanie's Creation says, is there a way to help customers buy from the US with the duties and tariffs? Just let them know that there are fees that they're going to have to pay, and just make sure that they're aware of it. There's not much else you can do to lower their UPS fees. It is what it is. Other than telling them to call their elected officials, go to 5calls, the number 5calls.org. I will take that out. Go to 5calls.org, 5calls.org, and just make 5 phone calls today if you're a US citizen. 5 calls today. Just asking you for 5. 5 calls today if you don't like the tariffs. That's the only way to deal with it. That's the only thing I can suggest, because there's no way around it. Sydney says, I got scammed from a US seller. Will I get my money back? The request says I have to wait until February 17th, so just nervous. So wait till February 17th to see if it arrives. If it says that it hasn't been, if it says labeled created and it hasn't been shipped out yet, and it's been a couple of weeks, then I just message Whatnot support. For sure. I would definitely message Whatnot support again. Selma Beauty says, UPS lost my package and didn't pay the $100 even after calling them for more than 20 times. They're so bad. Whatnot takes care of all that. That's the beauty of using Whatnot, and Whatnot's shipping. It all is done through Whatnot. So they deal with refunding the customer, and then they go through their shipping company to resolve any refunds that are necessary. PB&J says, I avoid the shows where people are yelling at me, let's go, Jet, let's go. And my hubby enjoys them. Something for everyone. Exactly. Peggy says, I have to go, but thank you. No, thank you for coming in. It's lovely to meet you. Hi, Sandra. What do we do? I left for coffee. What do we do for which? Angie says, how can a seller stay in their stream how can a seller stay in their stream that they will deal with tariffs so they can buy without worrying about tariffs? Yeah, you can't. The profile has been removed from Whatnot for violating community standards. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, just wait to see if it actually comes, and if it doesn't, they will refund you. Whatnot will refund you. Okay, all right, Sydney, sorry I went on for too long. 5calls.org. So fivecalls.org is for US folks who to contact their elected officials. If you go to fivecalls.org, if you're a US person, you go to fivecalls.org, you put in your zip code, and it will tell you your elected officials and all their contact information, so you can contact them about whatever issue you want to talk to them about, like tariffs. Blue Eye says, if a package is lost and you go through Whatnot for a refund, does the charge come back to the seller? Not if the package was lost by shipping. No. If it's lost by shipping, the seller does not get charged for that, because it's not their fault. It's the shipping company. Being Kind DIY says, one of my packages to a buyer shows is delivered, but they never received it. If we go through Whatnot, will that hurt my account at all? You must go through Whatnot. You must go through Whatnot. Do not do any sort of side deal where you're like, oh, I'll send you a refund. No, don't do that. Always go through Whatnot. And also, because some buyers will say they never received their item to try and get you to send them money. If something comes damaged, the buyer should contact Whatnot. And if it was caused by the shipping company, then you won't get charged. I'm so close to Canadian border. It's just so crazy to me. There's a town where half is in Vermont and half is in Canada. Yes, there's that really cool town with the library. Half of the library is in Canada and half of it's in Vermont. And when all this stuff started happening, the US government actually blocked off the library from the Canadian side. It's just, what a poop show. What a poop show the whole thing is. My fear is the seller gets affected, and I know it was the shipping company. I can tell Whatnot without sellers. I wouldn't worry about it. Stuff happens. It's not going to, if the seller, so here's the thing is, Ina, you don't know if you're the only one who's experienced that with a seller. It could be that seller isn't very good at shipping, right? So you think it's just a one-off, so you don't report it, and then it turns out that a whole bunch of other people have had the same issue. And so in those cases, it is important that Whatnot knows that stuff arrived damaged. And the buyer will get a refund for things that arrive damaged. And if it is damaged by the seller not properly, they usually will ask you for pictures. Whatnot will ask you for pictures. And if it's clear that it was because it wasn't properly wrapped up, then they will, you need to take away your guilty thinking. Think about there might be other people in the same boat. An imaginary line ruined our library. Oh, that is so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. And you know what? There's a lot of border towns that have lost, businesses have had to shut down in border towns because Canadians are just not crossing like they used to. I know, Ina, but it's okay. You know what? Sometimes, I mean, I've had it where stuff didn't arrive in one piece, and they were my friends, and I was just like, ask for a refund, ask Whatnot for a refund. And yes, sometimes you as a seller are going to get a back charge onto your account if there's clearly a problem on your end with the shipping. I had one where the buyer didn't want to request a refund, so I requested it on their behalf, and they actually refunded the entire shipment and took the money out of my account, which is fine. But it was the entire shipment. It wasn't just the one thing. Okay, so it is 11:30. I'm going to love you and leave you because I have to get ready for my next show, because I'm going to do a show. I think I scheduled a show for this afternoon. I hope I did, because I'm thinking I did. Yes, estate sale no, I don't have one for today. Oh, good. Thank God. Oh no, there it is. 4 boxes. Why does it say tomorrow? It said tomorrow. Yes, so I'm going to go through boxes. I think I'm going to do a lot of books, to be honest, because I just got in a ton of books from one auction, and some of them are pretty freaking amazing. So I'm gonna go through those books and we're gonna play that. Shop with Danny, thank you so much for the tip. You were awesome. I love you. VT Farm Girl, it was great meeting you. Thank you for coming in. Do I have a vintage AA first? I don't. I don't have an A. I don't have another vintage AA first edition. I collect AA books, but I don't have the big book. Um, yeah, I will keep my eye out, Ina. I have multiple copies of all the AA stuff, and I have vintage Al-Anon, tons of vintage Al-Anon. I have a lot. Yeah, so because I have a black belt, I have a black belt in Al-Anon, as they call it, and my husband has been sober. Yes, absolutely, VT Farm Girl. The tariffs will kill you, but feel free to come. What I tend to do is try to make it as fun as possible by my shows are a little bit slower. I read the books. So I make it like here's a book and I have to read the blurb or I have to read a section of the book for 30 seconds while the item runs. So it tends to end up in giggles, especially the older books. I love books too. So there's a whole bunch of different books, and there's just like there's so many books. So we're gonna do that. Thank you, Trista. I don't know if I'll probably switch glasses, and probably this shirt is a little too booby, so I apologize for everybody who got too much boobage this morning. You're a year and a bit. You had a slip. Yes, there you go, Ina. It is not easy. So just as you know, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, do the next right thing. Just do the next right thing. That's all any of us can do is the next right thing. When you are overwhelmed by anything in life, just do the next right thing. And if you are unsure what that next right thing is, take a moment, settle down, close your eyes, and say to yourself or whoever your higher power, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that will take you through life pretty well if you just say, I have to accept that I cannot change this. This I can change. And I'm going to have to, and figuring that out is hard. But once you figure out what's important and what's not, it's so easy then to decide what's the next right thing. And sometimes you just have to accept there's stuff you cannot change. Your son is oh my gosh, that is awesome. I'm so happy for him, Angie, that he's doing that. That takes a lot of bravery. It takes a lot of bravery to go into recovery. It does. So Ina, you are awesome. And Angie, your son is awesome. That it is not easy to say I have a problem. It is not. It is not at all. And to say accept and then to go and do the work because it is work. Angie, I love you. Yeah, it is not easy to say, I have a problem and I need help. I need help. And even it is not easy for a lot of sellers to come here to a Whatnot Chat show and say, I'm unsure about something. I have a question. Most people, that's why I always say when someone asks a question, it's never a stupid question because I'm telling you right now that there were like 40 other people who this morning were wondering the exact same thing and not knowing what to do. And you're the one that had the courage to come into a chat show and ask that question to try and find the answer. Right? So congratulate yourself for coming in and doing that work and being brave enough to ask a question that other people wouldn't even try and ask. They would just give up. They would give up. And there's too many people that give up on Whatnot. And, like they say in recovery, like wait till the magic happens. Like keep doing the work and wait till the magic happens. It is the same freaking thing in life. And it's the same freaking thing when you are trying to start a business on Whatnot is don't quit before the magic happens. Because if you stay consistent and do the work on this app, you will find 3, 6, 9 months, a year later, you're going to look back and go, holy poop, I thought I couldn't do this. And look where I am now. So do not quit before the magic happens. And Ina says, if anyone ever wants to talk recovery or needs support, please DM me. Not for selling. Yes. Angie says it's so true. I keep going and have a lot of down days, but still go on. Aina says the first day I woke up 5 years ago and didn't think of a drink was the best day of my life. I love that. You guys are awesome. I love you guys so much. Okay. Hopefully I didn't, let's end this fancy poll. How do I do that? Let's end this fancy poll. Ooh, there it is. Boop. End poll. Woo-doo. Yay. Everybody loves saving money. Every time I do this poll, everyone says I love saving money. Go figure. All right. So I am going to head out now. I'm going to make like a baby and head out. And who are we going to go into? I always find it interesting who they suggest to me. I've got Shanimation or Pokemon cards. Let's go look at Labubu. Labubu. Wheel Fun, flash sales, and chill. Please, 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 please be doing the wheel legally. We're going to go in here and I don't know. Hey, Jespian, we're going to go in. I love you guys so much. We're going to go see what's going on. Hopefully it's a legal wheel. I don't know. There are rules. There are rules that you need to follow and whatnot, but we'll see. Anyways, let's give her some love no matter what. Let's go see Shanimation. I love you guys so much. Have a great day. I will be back on later if you want to come and hang out with me. I'm going to be looking at books and reading books and just having some silly fun. And yeah, or otherwise, I will see you tomorrow on Fashion Fridays. We're going to have a lot of fun. Bye. Thank you, everybody. I love you so